just one talent. You know, God gives us what we're able to deal with, what we're able to do. He won't place no more upon us than we're able to do. But what He gives us, where it's just one thing to do, or two things to do, or three things, or four or five things to do, whatever God gives us to do, we are to be faithful in doing that. And that's what He's going. He's looking when He comes. The Bible said, will He find faith when He comes? He's looking for the faithful ones when He comes back. And He said He went away. He spoke this in a parable, that He went away and He returned unto them. And the ones that He give 5 talents, He come to them and He said, now, what have you done with these talents that I've given you? What have you done with these gifts that I've given you? And the one that had the 5 talents, he said, well, I've gained 5 more. And he looked at him and he said, well, good, thy faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I'm going to make you ruler over many. And then he went to the second one and he gave him 2 talents. Give him less, but yet he gave him he had the ability to take and do what he wanted to with it. That's the way of the Lord today. You know, God has given us Jesus Christ, His Son. He died on Calvary's cross for our sins. He paid the sin debt. What are we going to do with Him? Are we going to take Him and do what He tells us to do, or are we going to serve self? But the second one he took and went out there and he gained 2 more than what he had before. And he looked at him and said, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come on, I'm going to make you come on into the joy of the Lord. I'm going to make you ruler over many. And then he went to that one that he just gave 1 talent. I mean, just give him 1 talent and he couldn't do nothing. What he done, he took that talent and he hid it in the ground. He hid it in the earth. And the Lord looked at him and said, thy wicked servant and slothful. You know, that's the way a lot of people are. They're taking what God has blessed them to have. If there's some people that can sing, there's people that can do things for God, if they just do them. You know, everything that we do for God, we got to step out on faith. We got to step out. I mean, when I started preaching, I had to step out on faith, believing and trusting that God would help me, give me something to say to help others. And everything, if we get out to sing, we're going to sing, we got to step out and do it. We got to step out and do it. We got to try and put forth an effort. And if we keep working at it hard enough and God will give it to us, it's not just going to fall right in your lap. You got to work for things, People think things are just going to fall into the lap. I mean, we got to strive in this thing. We got to work for this thing. And everything is nothing easy, You got to work for it. And when you work for it like that, you appreciate it, don't you? That's the way it is. And, took his talent and hid it in the ground. And the Lord come to him and said, thy wicked servant. He said, he told the servants, he said, just take that talent away from him and give it to him that has 10. That made him 11. So, if you're faithful to the Lord, He's going to bless you with more. If you're unfaithful to Him, He ain't going to give you nothing. He ain't going to give nothing. You've got a dependable worker, Brother Jim. Faithfulness is being dependable, being trustworthy. You've got a fellow that's dependable. You trust him. You're going to trust him with more than that person that just comes and goes when he takes a notion to. Just works when he wants to work, and when he does work, you can't depend on him to get the job done. Well, that's the way it is with the Lord, You send somebody out in the field to do something, you expect them to get it done, You're dependent upon them. And when you come back and they've just laid around and been slothful and lazy and didn't do nothing, it makes you angry. What do you think about God? That's the way He is. I mean, God has given us the most precious gift in this world. And that's His Son. He's given us salvation. I mean, He's given us opportunity. He's given us a privilege. I mean, it ought to be an honor and a privilege to serve the Lord. People that are faithful people is people that love God. That's why they're faithful, because they love God. They know, brother, they know what God has done for them, Brother Jonathan. They know that God has done wondrous works on them. I know when I was a sinner, I was lost. I didn't care nothing about church. I didn't want to go to church. I was in myself. Didn't want to go to church. And brother, I had my mind on the world, the things of the world. But when the Lord saved me and He changed my heart and changed my mind and took that condemnation away, took that sin away and cast it away, He wrote my name in the Lamb's Book of Life. And brother, He gave me peace in my heart. He put His Spirit within me. He gave me all this, today to serve Him. There's no excuse for nobody to not be faithful to the Lord and true to His Word tonight. There's no excuse for that because God is faithful to you. I mean, He gives you everything that you need, to live a Christian life. He gives you His Word. He gives you His Spirit. He gives you other Christians, Brother Jim, to help you and encourage you. And He gives you preachers to preach the Word to you. He gives you Sunday school teachers to teach the Word